Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do my February manga haul. Um, Everything is used manga. I don't have anything that I bought new recently, so I'm just going to start off. I only have two volumes in English, the rest are all in Japanese. Um, but I did find Gabakawa by Rie Takada. Um, this is one, I own a few Takada works, and this is a one shot. I knew of it. I had just never read it, and I found it at a thrift store for a couple bucks, and thought, well, I'll add to my Rie Takada collection and grab this. It was it was okay. It was as good as I expected it was going to be for a one shot with this premise. But yeah, I'm going to do a wrap up of all of the reading I did in February, and in that video, I'll go over my thoughts on this more so. But yeah, I mean, for a couple bucks, it's it's nice. I prefer her other works, but I wasn't expecting to be overly thrilled with this one. I just figured it was a fun read. So next, I found Volume 7 of My Dress Up Darling. I paid 12 bucks for it, Canadian. It retails for 20. It's still in its plastic. It was never read clearly, and it was at my local used bookstore, and I figured, you know what, I'll grab it because I recently found Volume 1 at a thrift store, loved it, and then have been considering just getting more of it anyway. So I figured, you know what, I'll grab Volume 7 while I found it for cheap, and or cheaper than it would be new. So that's that. Next up, I found the entirety of Honey and Clover in Japanese. Um, Now, I do own this series in English, all except for Volume 8, which is out of print. Um, and so I honestly, if I had the whole series in English and I wasn't missing Volume 8, I probably would not have bought this all. I, I very well might have, honestly, but I may not have. But I don't have Volume 8, and I didn't feel right about just buying Volume 8 in Japanese and then leaving the rest of the series there for somebody else to come and not have the complete series. I figured, you know what, if I'm going to be buying Volume 8, I might as well just get the whole Japanese series, and then here's the elusive volume. And then that way I have the collection. But because this is I think it's a seinen, not a josei, but either way, because it's not aimed at kids, um, the there is no furigana in this series, and so it is not something I can currently read, as I'm still studying kanji and I'm not confident enough um, in my understanding of the language to read a series that doesn't have any furigana at this time. So I know this will be something that I'll read, a long time from now, but it is nice to have it. It's in really nice condition, and it will be kind of nice actually to have the English volume so that when I do eventually get around to reading this in Japanese, I'll have the English volumes as well to kind of guide my reading and whatnot. Not to mention, I've watched the anime, I've watched the live action film, I've read the manga up to I think volume probably I've read up to 7 because I'm missing 8, but I might have only read 5 or 6 at this point. But I've consumed this story enough that I have a good understanding of it. But yeah, I just thought, you know what, they look really nice. They're all in great condition. And then also because the same day I found the first 9 volumes of Sangatsu no Lion by the same creator, Chika Umino. I was buying this for sure, and so I figured, you know what, I'll get Honey and Clover as well because why not? Um, but also, same with this. This has no furigana as well, so again, it will be one that will take me a long time to read, but it is nice. These are nice editions. They have the nice full color double sided posters in every volume, which Denpa. I believe I have volumes 1 and 2 of the Denpa English release. If I remember correctly, Denpa also has these posters in them. So Denpa did actually quite nicely follow the Japanese release in that way. But as we all know, the release is extremely, excruciatingly slow. Um, so anyway, I was considering actually buying this in Japanese anyway, um, and just importing it, but didn't. And then I found the first 9 of them at the used bookstore anyway. So um, I decided to grab them. The art is just stunning. And this is a story I've consumed already anyway, in the form of the anime. But I did not realize the series was ongoing. For some reason, I thought that 15 volumes was all there was, but I guess that just happened to be the amount of volumes that were out back when I originally looked up how many volumes there were, and then I just assumed it was done. But I believe there's 17 out now, and it is ongoing. So, um, it is what it is. But so I have 9 now in Japanese, and like I said, it's not one I can currently read, but uh, I am happy to have it, because it was one that I was considering buying in Japanese anyway. So that was a nice find. And then this one I actually bought in like November or December, but I never showed it, and I figured I might as well show it because who knows when I'm gonna get around to actually reading it. This is Worlds by, what's his name? Uh, Fujisaki Ryu, the guy who or the person who did Hoshinengi, which I've never read, but I know that's a more well-known title, um, and Waku Wak as well was by this creator. So this is just a single one shot, and I bought it because it was a one shot. It's a jump title, so it does have the furigana because it's kind of for a younger audience. But yeah, I thought the artwork was pretty stunning. It's from 1991. Um, I think I don't know if it's a one shot or if it's a short story collection. Actually, now I can't remember. I remember looking it up when I originally bought it, but yeah, I just thought it was pretty like dynamic looking. It's something I can actually read. Um, so when I get around to it, then I'll talk about it, I guess. But for now, I thought it was just a fun one shot title to grab for a few bucks. And then um, the only other thing that I got is the entire series of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. So this one, actually, funny story. The same day I bought Worlds, which I can't remember if it was November or December, I found volume 1, 2, and then 21 through 30 of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. And because it's a series I have always wanted to read, and Del Rey never actually finished releasing it in English, and I never got around to collecting the ones that are out, I jumped at the chance to get anything I could of it in Japanese. Uh, and it is pretty, like, it's kind of episodic. There's a bit of a story, but for the most part, it's an episodic sort of comedy, dark comedy. So I figured, you know what, if I only have volumes 1, 2, and then 21 through 30, then I could still read them and get whatever uh, enjoyment out of it I can. But then I went back a week or so ago, and I'm assuming the same person. It would be a wicked coincidence if it wasn't the same person, but somebody had dropped off volumes 3 through 20. Uh, so I don't know why. If it wasn't the same person, they wouldn't drop off the whole series at once. But either way, I bought the rest of it, and from the same used bookstore. And yeah, so that was a pretty exciting day, because I went in and I bought the rest of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, and then Sangatsu no Lion and Honey and Clover all in the same trip. So I went to just browse the store and then left with 2 bags full of books. So um, yeah, that was fun. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty. The bookstore owner said that uh, the there is a particular person who keeps dropping off Japanese volumes. So I have gone in a few times um, over the last, I don't know, 5 months or so, and there've been quite a bit of Japanese language manga, which, um, for the longest time, even the stores were very seldom getting like new manga just generally. It was kind of the same stuff, and it's usually the same, like, uh, random volume 5 of some random series that you may or may not have ever even heard of. And it's not even worth picking up because, like, you're not going to find the rest of it anyway. Um, or you can't even start reading it anyway. So, but yeah, lately in the last year or so, I've noticed that a lot of thrift stores again, and then the used bookstores are getting more and more manga. So people were clearly buying it during COVID, and then now getting rid of it, or just generally decluttering, I guess. But yeah, during the past few years, I've not seen any manga at my local thrift stores, but all of a sudden there's been an influx again. Um, so I've been buying quite a bit of used stuff, uh, like I used to. But anyway, lucky for me that there seems to be at least one person, if not a few people, who are donating Japanese volumes to the local bookstore. And even more so lucky for me, the bookstore prices them significantly cheaper because they know that the turnaround on the Japanese volumes will be less quick than the turnaround on English volumes. And so, yeah, they saves me money, saves me having to import stuff. And it's exciting to go in and see that because I went through that phase of ordering a bunch of stuff from eBay and importing it from Japan. Um, but then you got to pay the duties and taxes and stuff on it. And so it's a bit of a hassle. And so I haven't been doing that because I need to actually read the volumes that I bought. But it has been fun lately to go to the used bookstore and just be like, okay, yeah, no, there's a bunch of Japanese manga there. Figure out which ones I legitimately want to read, um, and uh, and which ones I can actually read. Um, and then kind of go from there. So they had some other manga there too that was in Japanese, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to get the stuff I really want, and then if I go back next time and the other stuff is still there, then clearly it was meant to be, and um, I'll grab it at that time. But I wasn't in the mood to go even more overboard than I was already going. But yeah, no, this collection of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei is now complete. And this does actually have Furigana in it, so I can read this series. I just haven't started it yet because I'm working my way through. I've got a couple other Japanese series I'm reading at the moment, and I'm almost finished one of them. So once I finish that series, then I will decide what it is I'm going to be doing next. I'm trying not to have too many Japanese series on the go because uh, the it just gets overwhelming. I kind of want to focus on a couple stories at a time, to make sure that I am understanding what I'm reading and that I'm giving my full attention to it, uh, because otherwise I'm not really learning anything or understanding, um, if I'm trying to rush through it. But I am getting significantly faster at reading in Japanese, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just trying to show you the spines on this because they're really quite nice when they're all lined up together. And also these are like it's a really matte finish, like paper kind of cover, um, which is fun and different. It's not glossy or anything, and it's different than like matte finish on other books. So anyway, there's the entirety of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Looks great. Really happy to have it. Excited to read it, get around to reading it when I do. This will take me forever because 30 volumes is a lot. But yeah, it's like I said, it's episodic, so it'll be a fun kind of thing to read here and there when I have the time and the energy, mental capacity to put towards it. But um, if you don't know what it's about, it is this teacher who is very suicidal, and he is constantly just trying to end his life, and his students are um, just kind of like getting up to hijinks in and around his existence. Um, I can't remember if he works at an all girls school or if it's just that they don't pay attention much to the male students. This is more of a like an etchy sort of series. So there is a lot of nudity, there is a lot of ridiculousness. Um, but I really love the art style of it, and I love dark comedies. Um, so I remember watching a bit of the anime back in the day, like when I was really young. Um, and Yeah, no, it'll be interesting, but it's definitely visually a stunning series. Um, and I'm interested to get back into it and see what I do or do not enjoy about it. But yeah, that was everything I picked up. Really happy with what I got, and hopefully I will have more opportunities to pick up Japanese stuff, and hopefully more stuff that I can that's more at my current reading level, like Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. I'm trying to stay away from picking up a bunch of stuff that doesn't have the furigana, just because I already have a few series that I can't currently read in Japanese that I'm working towards, obviously, but I am trying to stick with stuff that I know I can currently read, so I don't discourage myself or overextend my abilities here and then get burnt out. So, but I do have plenty of stuff that I have that has furigana, so I'm trying to just uh, stick with those and stay focused on the larger goal, which is continuing to expand my um, knowledge and understanding of the language. So, um, yeah. Anyway, if anything here interested you, want to chat about it in the comments, by all means. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.